returns of championship gymnastics fall today. Will it be a leap into prominence for one of the Pac-10 wannabes? Or will it be perennial favorites whose hands are raised in victory? It's time for big performers to step up big in the conference's marquee event. So who will it be? The favored UCLA Bruins for yet another time, or someone else just saving the best for last? It's the Pac-10 Women's Gymnastics Championships. You gotta love it. Great company today from the campus of the University of Arizona. We're in Tucson, Arizona at the McHale Center. Hot spot for basketball today. It is the Pac-10 Gymnastics Championship host. And hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins. My partner once more, Kathy Johnson-Clark. You know her, of course, bronze medalist in the 1984 Summer Olympic Games. And Kathy, talk about the Pac-10 Conference. Almost without question, the most powerful conference in America this year.
This is a very classy conference. I love their style of gymnastics. I love the way the athletes and the coaches treat each other. They treat each other with respect. They support each other and try and push the level of gymnastics in the Pac-10. UCLA, of course, ranked #1 in the nation. They are by far the most talented and deep team in the country. But Stanford has an unbelievable strong senior class, and that is going to be a very tight competition here today.
Well, let's talk a little bit about UCLA. Yes, they're the cream of the crop. Will they be the best today?
Well, on paper, if you look at all they've got, absolutely, they could run away with it. But gymnastics just doesn't work that way. Ask Val Condos Field. They've been beaten by Washington. She says to them, if we make a mistake and everybody else is perfect, things can change. So you've got to stay on your toes. You don't just have to have depth and talent.
But they do have talent. A lot of great talent on this team.
Kate Richardson, Jeanette Antolin, the #1 and 2 gymnasts in the country. Kate Richardson is ranked #2, trying to make the Canadian Olympic team this year. And Jeanette Antolin, an amazing comeback story for her, has really pulled everything together, has become the rock of this team, and is doing just outrageous gymnastics.
Well, you talked a little bit about Stanford. If it's not UCLA, maybe it's going to be Stanford. They always have a way of coming up big in big events.
Absolutely. I think this is their year to really do amazing things. Natalie Foley is one of their gymnasts, having a great year as an all-around gymnast and doing terrific gymnastics. But I think the driving force of the Stanford team is their senior class, the most decorated class in Stanford history, and they have heart. They don't have as much depth as UCLA, but they are making up with heart and dedication. They want to do something before they leave Stanford.
But as you indicated a little bit earlier, this sport is all a part of bobbles and stumbles and falls and trips. And if that happens, and it could happen to UCLA and it could happen to Stanford, what happens then?
Absolutely. Any of these teams can step up and have great success here at the Pac-10s. We have a lot of individual gymnasts who will show great highlighted gymnastics. Chrissy Lehman won the floor exercise at the Pac-10s last year. Does really beautiful gymnastics and is obviously trying to defend her title here. Monica Basorti is someone from Arizona who could do a very nice job here and leading really strong teams in the Pac-10 to hopefully good standings here.
So we should see an awful lot of good individual performances, and a team battle, I think, really could be something special, because this, as we said, the strongest conference in America. These are the championships, and they're next. Welcome back to the McHale Center. Chrissy Lehman of Oregon State will be first competitor we're going to see. Oregon State will be on vault, ASU on bars, Arizona on beam, Washington on 4X. Cal, Stanford, and UCLA have buys in this first rotation.
And Oregon State has won the Pac-10 team title, one of only 3 teams to ever have won the team title. 4 times they've won it, most recently in 1996. They placed 5th last year. They're ranked 10th currently in the nation. They have had a very, very good year. The last several meets, they have built on their season high score, team score. They've got a lot of momentum. And really the turning point in their season, they had a fellow teammate, Megan Jones, who was in a very, very serious car accident that she could have lost her life, and it pulled them all together. They put things in perspective. They've rallied behind her. She's going to be okay. She's rehabbing and will be okay. But it's changed their perspective, and they're not going to let opportunities go by.
She was very happy with that first vault. We'll give you the score just as soon as we have it.
Now keep in mind, in vault, every vault is rated in terms of its level of difficulty and worth a certain amount of points. Obviously, the key is to try and have a 10-0 vault as your start value. The lower rated vaults won't score as well just right off the bat. The top teams in the country are doing 10-0 vaults. That vault that we just saw had a start value of 9.8.
And here's a look at Heather Justice, who is just about set to go. She's got her own moving section here. 9-7 was the score for Chrissy Lehman on that first vault.
They're also depleted. They have several gymnasts out with injury for the season. Most recently, Annie Campbell, very important gymnast in their lineup, hurt her knee, had knee surgery, but will not return for this season.
So now Heather Justice from Boring, Oregon.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Scored a 9.675 on that vault out of a possible 9.8. Of course, the team leaders we're going to see are going to be scoring up in the high 9.8, 9.9 range. Might even see some 10s. Beautiful height on that vault. Pike front, that's worth a 9.8. So the maximum score that vault could earn is 9.8 if done absolutely perfectly. She has beautiful height, nice amplitude. Good pike position. Could have opened a little sooner to try and go for the stuck landing.
So now we'll wait the score for Heather Justice. We go now to floor exercise.
This is Molly Shaman. Washington has a very good team this year. Bob Levesque said this is the best team he has ever coached. Just so easy to coach, very dedicated, works as hard as possible.
And that little step out of bounds will cost her.
I apologize, I said the gymnast before her. This is Kim Lewis. Very pretty gymnast. Very nice quality in her dance. Long legs, long lines. Washington doesn't quite have the difficulty, the level of difficulty in the routines as a UCLA or Stanford. Nice flexibility.
Very good for Kim Lewis. One little step out of bounds.
10th of a point deduction for the step out of bounds. Bob Levesque has done so much with this team. First coach in history to lead the team to back-to-back NCAA appearances in 97 and 98, and that was 98 would have been their third appearance in 5 years. So he's done a nice job at Washington. They're ranked 12th in the nation. And their goal here is they'd like to sneak into that third spot. They'd love to be third place here.
Angela Morales now for Oregon State on vault, but still a little discrepancy on the scoring of Heather Justice, who preceded her, scoring very slow so far today.
It's not uncommon at the start of a meet to try and get them in line and just get their rhythm going. Judging in collegiate gymnastics, in my opinion, really needs to be revamped. All of the scores are so high and tight, close together. They're all in that high 9.8 to 10.0 range with the top teams. It's really hard to separate the gymnastics routines, the really great ones from good ones.
Heather Justice has scored 9.775 out of a possible 9.8. I beg, yes, that was Heather Justice.
A lot of concentration. They've competed a long season so far. This is the start of their postseason. This is when everything begins. Really gearing up. Teams who are on the bubble trying to make an appearance at the national championship.
Looking at Lauren Powell of Arizona State, you were just a moment ago. And this is Angela Morales of Oregon State.
4 events going on simultaneously. We have 7 teams here, so some of the teams are sitting out with a bye. One of the challenging aspects of the conference championships. Pike, front pike with a half twist, adds a little difficulty and raises that start value up to a 10.0. That's a big jump. Judges are looking for many things on vault. Overall dynamics, good height off the horse. The position, in this case, should be a nice tight pike. Opens out, spots the floor, does the half twist. Land a little bit stiff-legged and hopped back.
Maggie Germain now of Arizona State on the uneven bars. Maggie very tall for a gymnast at 5'8".
I'm just amazed when I see gymnasts this tall, especially doing a high-level gymnastics. It's beautiful with the long lines, and the change of equipment over the past 10 years has really allowed this to happen. The bars go way out, much farther than they used to. They have a lot more room to swing through. Years ago, this just would not be possible. She missed her release move.
So we'll give you the score for Emily Pritchard as soon as we have it, and we will have it on the other side of this commercial break. Don't go away. We're coming back to Tucson. We welcome you back to the McHale Center here in Tucson, Arizona. These are the women's Pac-10 Gymnastics Championships after our first rotation. Remember, California, UCLA, and Stanford were by in the first rotation. The Washington Huskies right now with a slight edge over Oregon State, who was on vault. The Huskies, remember, were on Florex and had a very good routine. Arizona State at 48.875, and Arizona stumbling a bit at 39. So we come now to rotation 2. California will be on vault. Stanford will be on bars. ASU will be on beam. UCLA will be on Florex. And Arizona, Oregon State, and Washington have the buys. On floor exercise for UCLA, Lori Wynn.
This is the only event that UCLA is not ranked #1 in. They're #2, behind North Carolina. It's a great event for UCLA. Always unique, wonderful choreography. Valerie Tondo's field is a master in this area.
It is her area of expertise, right? She comes from the dance background.
Lori Wynn comes to UCLA via Oklahoma, Bart Conner School of Gymnastics. Very, very talented athlete. I think there will be a lot more we'll see over the years. Nice job in her first Pac-10 championship.
I'll say. So Lori Wynn setting the tone for UCLA. We go to the bars now. Stanford on the bars, and we will be seeing Jessica Louie of Stanford, sophomore from Loomis, California.
Ranked #5 in the nation on this event, Stanford. It's a very, very strong chance this year of doing some big things, both here at the Pac-10s and at Nationals, trying to pull it all together. Very, very nice job.
So that was Jessica Louie. We'll try to keep you updated, as we said, on scores which have come a little bit slowly. Ashley Peckett will be next on floor exercise for UCLA. We don't have the score for Lori Wynn yet, so Ashley will wait for just a moment. Yet another freshman on this UCLA team.
And yet another Canadian.
That's right.
They like those Canadian gymnasts here. Very fine gymnast, very clean performer. Very expressive with her face on the floor exercise.
Still waiting for the score from Lori Wynn. And there it is, a 9-8 for Lori Wynn to get things started for UCLA. And now Ashley Peckett.
She has some nice tumbling in this routine. Watch this. She'll go whip, whip through to a double pike. Long pass. Whip, whip. Nicely done. Tiny stumble at the end of that pass. Behind every strong team, obviously is a strong head coach, but a good assistant coach. It's imperative, and they have a great one in Chris Waller, who's done a very fine job with tumbling and vaulting and bar work. Also Milo Johnson, just a very good, strong coaching team. They do a lot with a lot of talent.
Yeah, have a lot to work with, and that's Ashley Peckett, yet another freshman.
Good finish with the tuck double back. Nice to see that level of difficulty.
So Ashley Peckett, the high fives from her teammates. Right now, back to the bars, Lisa LeVay of Stanford. Tremendous gymnast.
Speaking of great coaches, Kristen Smith is the head coach in her third season, doing an amazing job with these athletes at Stanford. Assistant coaches Larissa Fontaine and Chris Swirsek. I hope I didn't destroy that name.
Oh, you did pretty good.
Thank you. They're doing a very good job with this team. A lot of talent, a lot of dedication, good clean gymnastics, high level difficulty. Of course, they have the benefit of some Canadian Olympians as well on this team. So came in with a lot of talent, a lot of experience, but they want more. As seniors, they've really rallied together to strive for perfection, to upgrade the level of difficulty in their routines. And they're coming out with big gymnastics, and hopefully right at the tail end of their career for a big year.
Stuck the landing, didn't she?
Yeah, that's a nice landing.
Ashley Peckett, incidentally, 9-9 for UCLA. We will watch Lisa LeVay's score. Now on floor exercise, Yvonne Tucson.
And I love this gymnast. She just sucks you in with her performance. She always has. As a Canadian Olympian and World Championship team member, very expressive.
They've also amended. Peckett scored a 9.875 now.
It's the subtleties about this gymnast that I like. Very intricate moves, facial expression here, turn of the head. Very cool ending.
Very different. Yvonne Tucson of UCLA. And we'll jump away. We're in the second rotation. UCLA on floor X and Stanford on bars. Keeping an eye on that, and we're coming back. Welcome back. Kristen Maloney now on floor exercise for UCLA. Von Tucson, 9-9.
And want to talk about comeback stories. Out for 2 years with a leg injury. Did not get it to heal. She had a plate in her leg. They finally removed the plate, had to allow the bone to regrow. She has done just simply an amazing job of coming back. One of the toughest kids to see.
Yeah.
I've followed her since she was a kid, so she's still a kid to me. Just psychologically, she is so tough inside. Very few gymnasts could do this. And she's come back in amazing form, scoring huge right off the bat. U.S. Olympian, World Championship team member, great success, national champion. Topping it all off with determination. Many a gymnast would have just said, no way. After all this time, there's no way to come back.
Tangled up a little bit there.
Needs to get tangled up in a 2.5 twist. Very good performance, just as you mentioned, a little stumble on that final tumbling run.
Well, you've talked about it so often that gets a little tired out there when you get to that final run.
Doesn't look like it does it?
I know, it's amazing.
Smile on their face, they're dancing away, but it's really a difficult thing to build up the stamina.
Stanford's Natalie Foley now on the uneven bars, just a sophomore from Englewood near Denver.
Boy, good difficulty in this routine, Barry. Nice positions. The judges are really looking for the handstand moves. I think they could be a little pickier at times, really making sure that they do their pirouettes just like she did right in the handstand. That was a nice full twisting reverse, Hecht. Double layout, very strong performance for Stanford, doing a great job over on the uneven bars. Great competition going. Watch this, taps right into it, stretches her body out in the laid out position, and very fine landing.
Stanford's having a very good rotation on bars. We did not get a score on Lisa LeVay. We will try to do that. Kate Richardson will be next up on floor X, and the score for Kristen Maloney being posted 9.85. That bobble cost her a little bit.
And this is one of Valerie Condesfield's favorite choreography that she herself did. She had so much fun with this, really went out there, took some chances with it. And Kate does an excellent job performing. Boy, wasn't that a beautiful double layout?
Sure was.
She has a wonderful smile.
She does. She really works the house, too.
Very, very strong routine. Good difficulty throughout, which brings to mind many people ask, well, you said she's going to try and make an Olympic team. What does she have to do different to make an Olympic team? Add difficulty to the routine, which is what she's trying to do even within the collegiate season. And then we'll add even more as she approaches their qualification.
A little hug from the coach. Meanwhile, over on bars, Lindsay Wing of Stanford. That's Carolyn Fleur, not Lindsay Wing.
Doing a very fine job, keeping good form throughout the routine. Good toe point, legs straight. Boy, they are really doing nice, clean gymnastics. Beautiful double layout. Couldn't quite come up with the stick, but the routine was really nice.
Next up on floor exercise for UCLA, Jeanette Antolin, one of the great gymnasts that we'll be seeing today. Senior at UCLA, a 10 for Kate Richardson.
Which sets up a possible another one, because Jeanette tends to be extremely competitive in this situation. Will want to come up with her perfect landings as well, and she's so capable of it. I'm sure she's saying, why not? Let's have two of them.
Stuck the first one.
Which at this point is all it takes. If she sticks all her tumbling passes, it'll be a 10,
yep.
Basically.
Yeah, they're not as scarce as they used to be, are they?
I read your mind on that, Barry. Ouch.
Ouch is
Ouch.
right.
Sure, she's thinking, stick, stick. I'm not tired, stick. She ends with the difficult tumbling run. Pike double back.
What do you think? Good enough?
Of course. See, here's what happens when you've got gymnasts who are doing this level of difficulty and you've already seen 9-9s. Where do you go? You kind of have to go to 10. So 10-0 doesn't always mean perfection. Sometimes it does. That's what they're striving for, and to have no deductions. But it's also a ranking device as well. So UCLA is doing some great gymnastics.
Now take a look at this last tumbling run. And was there a little bobble at the end of this?
I can always find something if you want me to. But knee bend slightly forward on the landing, but we have the benefit of seeing it again and seeing it in slow motion. The judges don't. They have to immediately decide that split second, deduction or no, and minute deductions.
Well, Kate Richardson has put a 10 on the board, and now we await the judging of Jeanette Antolin, and we'll have that when we come back to the McHale Center and the Women's Gymnastics Championships. Welcome back. This is Natalie Foley on the balance beam for Stanford. Stanford so far, very good rotation in this discipline.
Definitely. Definitely doing the job they need to do. Put a little pressure on UCLA. Oh, I need a little break. Those are the kind of things that are going to add up. In the end, you'll look back and say, these are the tiny little things that they want to try to get out before nationals. Attack the landings, be very aggressive, don't give up even a half a tenth of a point. Certainly easier said than done.
Yeah.
I will say that. Nice flexibility on these jumps. She's a little nervous. You just see her making nervous errors, kind of checking herself instead of moving smoothly and aggressively. It's more like feeling her way through. Got to attack, attack, attack. Like that landing.
Yeah.
Boy, what a talent.
Trying to get to the score for Natalie Foley. Meantime, on floor exercise for Arizona, Andrew McCabe.
As I said, they set a school record on the floor exercise in their last competition. Nice clean form in the tuck double back.
Andrew McCabe of Arizona.
Well, a lot of support in collegiate gymnastics among the teammates. Really with each other on every performance.
Well, and when you read all the biographies of all of these gymnasts, that almost to the number, that's what they talk about.
They look forward to it. They encourage each other. It's so much a team sport.
As opposed to at the club level where it's entirely individual. Lise LeVay of Stanford.
The former two-time Pac-10 champion on this event. She shared the title with her teammate, Lindsay Wing. And then Lindsay went on to win it outright a third year in a row. So dynamic duo on the balance beam. But these gymnasts have really come along. I've watched them since their freshman year. Just come out of their shell and start doing more aggressive gymnastics, putting it out there, performing, going after it, and really grabbing the audience's attention.
Well, isn't it true that this, like so many sports, it's a copycat sport? When something works, all of a sudden you start seeing it crop up more and more.
They're feeling a little bit more relaxed. Just finished finals, I heard. Got that out of the way before the postseason, which is obviously good for them. Tuck double back, little cowboy on that last somersault. Pulled her legs out to the side, makes you flip faster.
On floor exercise, Monica Bisorti. Again, we will try to get you scores as we go along here. Sometimes we cannot do it until the end of the rotation.
And she scored a career high at the last competition, 9.975, which helped the team on their way to that school record. Oh.
A little back on that.
A little bit back.
So Monica Bisorti. Monica Bisorti coming back from a broken foot, and not an easy thing to come back to competition from.
It was a struggle for me just having to sit in the gym and watch everyone work out, and that was probably the hardest part. But you know, while I was sitting on the sidelines like that, I was telling myself that basically I need to come back for the team and for myself and to prove to everybody that I could be just as strong as I was despite this little bump in the road.
Well, and as you said, she had her best performance, part of a best performance ever by the Wildcats in this floor exercise discipline. Here she is just a moment ago.
And if any event, it would be this. That's the hardest, this and vault, the hardest on that foot.
So Monica Bisorti awaiting her score. On the balance beam, you talked about her before, Lindsay Wing of Stanford.
Her performance level is so high. She's got a nice level of difficulty and just uncanny balance. Very smooth. Nice flexibility. Pays nice attention to detail on this event. Striving for the perfect position. Double twist. Whoa! Tried to get those arms up quickly.
Yeah.
In hopes that she would get him up, get the salute in before the feet moved.
Help from the coach, Christine Smith.
One of the hardest events to score a 10 on. She has done so in her career. What an accomplishment there.
This is Katie Johnson of Arizona in floor exercise. Katie plays the crowd pretty well also.
That's a huge benefit in college. They have the opportunity to compete very often in front of their home crowd. They love it, obviously. Get a lot of attention, really play to the crowd.
Not hardly the same without the music, is it?
Going for a good landing here on tuck double back. Very nice height on all her tumbling runs.
On the fourth rotation, UCLA
Little bent legs on this pike, on that pike front somersault. That should be an easy thing to clean up.
So Katie Johnson, that performance just a moment ago, and she winds up with a 9-9. So we reach the end of the third rotation. We'll bring you up to date on the scores, where things stand in these championships. And we're coming back to the McHale Center after this. We welcome you back, and here are the quantitative scores. Remember, UCLA and California have only had the one rotation, so they are still kind of behind a little bit here. So this will just give you kind of an idea of where things are at. Stanford in first place, at least seemingly so for the moment. But Kathy, you can give us a concept of what really to look for.
They are definitely the team to catch right now at this point. UCLA Bruins, take a look. They have a 49.60. They now need a 49.525, which is a big score on the vault to catch Stanford. That's averaging 9.95. Just to give you an idea, I know it's difficult with these buys to really keep track of who's actually in first place.
Yeah, you don't really know until the very end, but that's the way this...
You got to think pace, and right now the two teams on pace to be in the number 1 and 2 slots are UCLA and Stanford, as expected.
UCLA, as you said, will be on vault in this fourth rotation. California will be on bars, Oregon State on beam, and ASU on the floor. Washington, Arizona, and Stanford will have a bye. So 4 disciplines and 6 rotations, make that 7 rotations. And everybody participates in the 4 events is basically how it all goes. This is Lauren Powell of Arizona State in floor exercise. And the end of Lauren Powell's routine to start things for ASU.
Longtime head coach John Speeney of Arizona State University.
Christine Tedman of UCLA, the first vaulter.
Very, very strong vault team. Number 1 in the nation on this event. All gymnasts performing 10-0 start value vaults. And I'm sure the pre-event talk was stick, stick, stick. Give nothing away. To Arabian front, half twist in, front layout out. Not a great landing. That will definitely be a deduction. And frankly, if you want to average a 9.95, that's the score they'll want to drop. And watch, it'll be a decent score. But to be the top team here, at this point, they're going to have to average 9.95. So you got to see maybe even some 10s here.
Your point is well taken, though. They have a greater degree of difficulty in the vault than most of the other teams.
And anytime you do a greater degree of difficulty, there's the risk of a very slight deduction. Someone might do something much simpler, much easier, but have a better chance of sticking it perfectly and not get the deduction. It's a little out of whack. They need to revamp the scoring system in collegiate gymnastics.
Christine Tedman scored 9.65, so they probably will want to drop that. This is Karen Butte of ASU.
As I mentioned just a moment ago, head coach John Speeney has been at ASU forever. I think this is 20th year, I believe. Assistant coach Shelley Eaton in her 3rd year, and Bruce McGee, also the assistant coach. And Ro Kreutzer, a favorite lady in the sport of gymnastics. Both at the international level, she is a treasure for the United States and obviously for ASU. Good, strong coaching staff.
And they've been one of the perennial powers in the sport also.
They finished third last year at the Pac-10s, their highest finish since 1999. Shelly Eaton, formerly Shelly Scher, does all the choreography. There she is right there for Arizona State. She's former UCLA gymnast.
So Carrie Muth is done. Now Lori Wynn, a moment ago in vault.
Also performing a 10-0 start value. Lutsenko, full twist. Beautiful in the air, but not a stuck landing. This is something that they need to get, especially if they want to repeat as national champions, and certainly here even as Pac-10 champions, with a strong Stanford team putting up huge scores. You got to stick the landings.
And Lori Wynn score a 9.875, so not up to the standard that you spoke of.
Taking a look at the Cal team. Coach Carrie Dubois talking to Milan Dodd, getting her team psyched up. She's doing a terrific job with this program, really building. She's in her second season at Cal. It's a very pretty gymnast. Nice form. Certain elegance about her gymnastics. Pleasing to the eye. On the landing. They did well in their first event, scored over a 49 on the vault.
Floor exercise, Ashley Kelly for ASU. Incidentally, Ashley Peckett of UCLA, who was the third vaulter, only scored a 9.8. So UCLA lagging a bit, not up to the performance that you had suggested they would need.
See, now you have to count on that, on Stanford making some little mistakes here and there. Ashley Kelly ranked 13th in the all-around. One of the highest rankings of the Pac-10 gymnasts in the all-around. Tremendous talent. John Spini happy to have her as part of his program. Got a lot of strength and depth to their team.
Kate Richardson now on the vault.
And at this point in the competition for UCLA, they really got to knuckle down and try and come up with these stuck landings. They're fully capable of it. Coach said they came in, they were loose. They were definitely loose. This is like the calm before the storm. They're trying to look forward to the end of the season where they would like to repeat as national champions. So I think they were a little loose coming into this meet, and I kind of see that in their landings. They're not attacking the landing per se. And you're giving away a 1/10 of a point here and there. And they add up.
Kate Richardson, a 9.95 on that vault. And now Jeanette Antolin of UCLA, and here she is.
The Rock. I don't know if I've ever seen her not stick. Let's see what she does here.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think they moved. It wasn't quite as rock solid as I've seen her in terms of her landing. They've got a soft mat in there to protect ankles, landings. They have a lot of landings throughout the season on hard mat. Yep, she was trying to stick him to the mat.
They did give her a 10.
Well, it was a much better vault in the air. So, as I said before, where do you go?
And you see 9 perfect 10s for Jeanette Antolin. She gets one here. Don't know if it's going to be enough.
A little
to overtake
surprised,
Stanford.
I think. Maybe a touch surprised.
Meanwhile, back to the floor exercise. Cassandra Giacino of ASU.
Beautiful front layout. Nice stretch position. She actually performs that on vault, the front layout. So quite good in that position.
That's Cassandra Giacino, and we're going to jump away. We are at the McHale Center. There is Jeanette Antolin, just picked up a 10 on vault, but will it be enough for UCLA? We're coming back. We welcome you back to Tucson. These are the Pac-10 Women's Gymnastics Championships. Barry Tompkins, Kathy Johnson-Clark telling you about it. As we move along now to our 5th rotation. After 4 rotations, here's the way things stand. And again, remember that some teams, as Oregon State and Arizona State, they have already had 3 disciplines here, whereas UCLA, Stanford, and the rest of them have not. So you might look at UCLA, Stanford, and it's very close, Kathy.
Yes, they gained ground on them. Stanford did at the last event. UCLA just wasn't quite as sharp as they usually are on vault. Didn't stick the landings. They were nice in the air. But you got to have those stuck landings to really get the big, giant scores. So they're only a 1/10 of a point apart, and I think Stanford smells a little blood.
Well, and we said this in the very beginning, but they seem to come up for the bigger meets, and this, of course, is the bigger meet.
Well, this is the time to take advantage of just a little bit of leeway in there with UCLA's performance. Still great, and they've got more to do. Believe me, UCLA can still more than do it. But Stanford must be pretty psyched right now to come out strong on the floor.
Well, here's the Stanford team floor exercise. Normally a pretty good discipline for them, is it not?
This is a team that has really, really worked hard and have been pushed hard. They're lean in the sense that they don't have the depth. There have been competitions throughout the season where they've literally competed 5 gymnasts and counted 5 gymnasts. So they have counted so heavily on their all-around gymnasts. They're a little tired, a little beat up, but this is the time to do it. They're seniors, most of the team, and they have yet to really do what they'd like to do at nationals. So they're starting their push right now.
Shelley Goldberg, very good first tumbling run.
Ooh, that was up in the air. She's competing 2 events for Stanford. They have several gymnasts out with injuries. They've had shoulder surgeries and ankle surgeries that they just haven't come back from yet. So they're resting some of their athletes as they come back. Strong opening performance. So one of the exciting things about collegiate gymnastics is that on these teams you have Olympians and World Championship team members and other athletes that might have competed up to the level 10, weren't quite elite. They compete alongside Olympians. It raises the level of their gymnastics. Very exciting. They're getting big scores right alongside gymnasts who have competed at the highest level of their sport.
Yeah, I thought she did a terrific job. Now, she was the leadoff, so let's see how they score her.
A very critical position. Lead-off position is, as we've said many times, like the lead-off batter. They are counted on to get on base no matter what. They've got to hit. They have to come up with a big score. Maybe not the biggest score in the event. They will build to those, but you've got to start them off at a high pace.
Tasha Labat of University of Washington on the bars. While we await the score for Shelley Goldberg, we'll give it to you as soon as we have it. Labat will step backward. Lindsay Wing will be next up for Stanford. We're waiting on the score for Shelley Goldberg. And you talked about that first score. It sets a tone, remember, and generally speaking, of course, even though that might have been perfect, she's not going to get anywhere near perfect because you got to leave room.
Now watch this floor exercise coming up. She has come so far in terms of her performance level and quality. When she was a freshman, it's almost like she did shy gymnastics. Good gymnastics, high level of difficulty, very clean, very precise, but very internal within herself. She's now, just watch, expressing to the audience.
Gave Shelley Goldberg a 9.8. 9.85 for Shelley Goldberg. That's a pretty good first score. Pretty good.
Keep in mind, especially for these seniors, Pac-10 titles and success here for bragging rights. It's something, it's a title that stays with you. Goes in the books. So big incentive here to do well.
Lindsay Wing of Stanford.
Very few deductions in there. Hard to find them. She's quite clean. As I said, performing at a much higher level now. Much more expressive in her dance.
This is Carly. Well, let's take a look at Lindsay Wing again.
Ends with a double twist. There's certainly more difficult passes that we've seen from the UCLA gymnasts on this event. But as I've stressed before, most of these gymnasts are still coming out of a 10-0. So there's not as much incentive to do harder passes at the end. Those that can do.
Carly Dockendorf on the bars.
Former Pac-10 champion. Look at the height of that release move. Just absolutely incredible. Nice amplitude. That's what the word was invented for. Skills like that.
You and Bart Carner are the only people I've ever heard use it.
Look at that.
Perfect.
Nice position in the air. I'd be smiling too.
Caroline Fleur of Stanford.
And this is one of the prettiest routines in the whole competition. I watched her warm up. She has some of the best dance in the competition. Very nice lines.
Lindsay Wing, incidentally, 9.85.
Caroline is ranked, tied for 20th in the nation. Everything is extended and just stretched to the maximum.
Big deep breath.
Oh,
skip.
Little low on that last tumbling pass.
So Caroline Fleur, and we will have her score when we come back. These are the Women's Pac-10 Gymnastics Championships. Going back to the bars, Washington's Emily Pritchard.
Nice skill, nice transition from high to low. In an event where we're seeing so much of the same skills, very refreshing to see something a little out of the ordinary.
Yeah, there is a real a miss, and a bad miss at that.
That was strange. I don't know if her grip caught. That was a really, I think something happened with her grips or something, because the way she released the bar was odd. Got no height on the release move, and the turn was incomplete in the air. Very unusual. She'll pick that from where she left out, not get credit for that skill. That's a big mistake. Of course, the fall and then not getting credit for the release move. Let's see double back. Good landing.
Yeah, it was. Meanwhile, back to the floor, Stanford's Natalie Foley. Great height on her tumbling.
She's one of the more powerful gymnasts on the Stanford team. Some of the prettier dancers on the team don't quite have the same power and difficulty in their tumbling. That's what makes the floor challenging. It's a package. Trying to get it all together is challenging.
Heels a little bit.
Finish with a nice double turn, very clean.
So Natalie Foley will await her score.
These scores not quite up to UCLA's standard on the floor exercise. Remember, UCLA started on the floor, had a little more difficulty, a little bit more spark in the performance. But Stanford has definitely come a long way on this event. It's the only event they didn't have any All-Americans on. I'm sure they'd like to change that this year.
On balance beam, Stephanie Kim of California.
And 9.85 preceded this performance on the balance beam by Cal. Good score. Nice confidence here on this routine. Very relaxed. Good to see on bounce beam. Fine combination of relaxing enough to let it happen what you've done in training, and yet taking charge and making it happen. It's the delicate art of balance beam.
Stephanie Kim.
Now.
Floor exercise, Lisa LeVay of Stanford, and the score for Natalie Foley, incidentally, 9.925. LeVay so far looking very good.
stumble on that double turn. Nice to see choreography that doesn't go down that same beaten path. You see a lot more originality both from Stanford and UCLA. On the floor exercise, nice to see. Taking a little bit of chance, doing a little something different with choreography.
Back to the beam, Milan Dodd. The score for Stephanie Kim a moment ago on beam, 9-8-5. Now Milan Dodd of California. You talked about her a little bit earlier.
Very pretty quality, particularly on this event. This was the event that she first got my notice. There's an elegant approach to the balance beam, very flexible, both in the upper body and in the legs. Didn't quite show split in that leap. Sometimes it's tempting to hold back a little bit, not let it really go, because I certainly know she has the flexibility. We see it right there of showing complete split. Definitely easy on the eyes. Very pretty routine.
Yes.
Not huge difficulty, but a nice quality.
Jessica Louie now, the final person in this rotation for Stanford. The score, incidentally, for Lise LeVay, 9-8-7-5. So Stanford, as you said earlier, not quite knocking them dead in this event.
Certainly not making mistakes. It's just that there's not quite enough spark behind the performance, and the level of difficulty is a little bit lower than UCLA's. So that's why we're seeing that difference in score. Good rotation for Stanford. As I said, not spectacular, but very, very solid and some nice high points.
And very consistent also for Stanford. Milan Dodd, incidentally, a moment ago you saw her on beam. 9-9-5 for Milan Dodd to end Cal's rotation on beam. We're coming back. Welcome back to the McHale Center as we move now to the 6th rotation. Call Mom, tell her about it. You're on TV. 6th rotation, and here are the comparative scores so far. Remember, UCLA is a rotation behind, but I'll try to add this in my head. They need 49.275 to get to where Stanford is after 3 rotations.
More than capable of doing that.
They will be on bar. So
great event for them.
The battle is joined between Stanford and UCLA. After that, it's a battle for 3rd place. At least that's the way it appears right now. Rotation 6, UCLA is going to be on bars. Stanford will sit this one out along with Arizona and California. ASU on vault. Washington will be on beam, and Oregon State on floor exercise. So UCLA, and this is a very good event for them. And we'll get a chance to see Jamie Dancher in this event for UCLA. And normally one of their best gymnasts, but today limited to 1 event.
They have been resting her throughout the season. She just started competing a few weeks ago on a few of the events. She has bad ankles just from years and years of gymnastics. She competed floor, though. Last competition landed a little bit short on a very difficult move, and so they're just resting. getting her ready for regionals and nationals, where they will really need her.
Valerie Condos Field has done an unbelievable job at UCLA, and of course the aura of the great coaches at UCLA is very much a part of things at Pauley Pavilion, where the UCLA gymnasts hold forth, and John Wooden, of course, over everyone.
Coach Wooden is a huge influence with us daily. We talk about him daily. We meet with him multiple times during the year, and the girls have had him over for dinner individually, and they go out to see him. He is the base for everything that we believe in.
At age 91, I believe Coach Wooden is now, and still the sage that he was. Basketball is full of them. I had a chance to spend quite a lot of time with Pete Newell, who in '88 has everything going for him too. I want to be like him when I'm 88.
And everything he says, it translates into sports, into life, into any sport, certainly gymnastics, and into life. This is a very strong event for UCLA, ranked #1 in the country. Good difficulty, as they do on all their events. They're just a packed team. They just have to do their job. They have to hit.
So the freshman Lori Wynn leading things off for UCLA.
And talking to the other coaches, they just, because UCLA has so much depth, even on top of certainly a high level of talent, they have so much depth on their bench. If somebody needs to be rested, they have somebody to put in their place. A lot of the other teams, if they have an injury or need to rest somebody, they're in trouble. They don't have someone to fill that spot.
Well, they've won this championship, these Pac-10 championships, 11 times. It's truly remarkable. 11 times since 1987.
Pretty dominant.
They've had 52 individual champions. The last 7 Pac-10 all-around champions have been UCLA Bruins. Oregon State on floor exercise, and this is Therese Vidian.
And they had, as I said, a little bit of an up and down day on balance beam, but they didn't have to count a fall. So that's the name of the game. They were able to drop that one low score with the fall.
The score, incidentally, for Lori Wynn, 9.875. Very good starting score for UCLA.
Oops, a little problem with the music. That's the second time I've heard that happen tonight. Not sure if there's a problem with the equipment or what.
Try it all over again.
You hear me talk about level of difficulty. One basic rule to keep in mind on floor exercise, the more difficult somersaults are those that are laid out. And second most is pike, then tuck. So you can kind of keep that in your head as you look at the difficulty in the tumbling. And then, of course, if you twist it, adds more difficulty.
Therese Vidian of Oregon State. And just a moment ago on bars for UCLA, Kristen Maloney.
Nice swing elements in this routine. And as all the UCLA gymnasts have, good difficulty in the routine, good technique. Watch the dismount. Very nicely done. Full twisting double back. Boy, it must put a smile on the coaches' faces every time she competes, thinking that it possibly was never going to happen.
And Kristen Maloney, a 9.9. So really setting the tone. The first two on bars, Lori Wynn and Kristen Maloney, 9.875 for Wynn, 9.9 for Maloney, and now Yvonne Tusek.
Boy, just back-to-back strong routines. Little leg separation there. Sometimes that's hard for the judges to see, who sit exactly to the side of the apparatus. Yep, separation there again. But as I said, from the side, sometimes that's masked a little bit and you can't see it. What they're looking for, double layout, nicely done. Good landing.
So Yvonne Tusek, and we'll wait for her score.
She just seems always happy.
Kate Richardson, yeah.
Very enthusiastic, very competitive, but still always light, seems like. Not stressed out ever. Good combination, full pirouette into reverse hex.
9.9 for Yvonne Tusek.
Another double layout. Whoops, check the landing. Mat kind of popped up on her. Makes it a little bit harder to land.
Pretty hard to stick a landing, I would think. Although you talked about those soft mats earlier. We'll get the score for Kate Richardson when we come back right after this. We welcome you back to the McHale Center. Jeanette Antolin will be next on the uneven bars for UCLA. Right now, waiting the score for Kate Richardson. We'll give it to you as soon as we have it. You can see what Jeanette Antolin has done, 9 10s this season.
Well, talk about attack and apparatus. She really swings aggressively. Everybody has a little different style, different strength, different techniques on all the apparatus, but particularly this event. There's some gymnasts that are much more athletic on this event, and she just cranks the swing. Look at this. Inverted giants. Right into a release move. There's a brisker pace. Really nails the handstands.
Kate Richardson, 9.875. That little step on the landing. Not that
That's
one.
the kind of routine that 10s are made for, at least at this level of competition. As I said, she does so much more difficulty. Better technique on certain things, hits the handstand, so the judges are almost forced into that 10-0 when you've seen really high 9.9 scores already. It's an exciting routine. Reckless abandon, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Just reckless abandon.
And just nails the landing.
She's physically really strong. And uses that strength not just to go along with the swing technique. Haha, that put a smile on her face. Those are the landings I'm used to seeing from her. She's very capable of just honing in on those landings time and time again, meet after meet. Tough competitor.
So there she is. She's still waiting for. Will be next on bars for UCLA.
The judges want you to, they always have those little feet. Yep, and that's appropriate. Oh, no.
$9.95 for Jeanette Antolin. Not quite a 10. Judges saw something in there.
This is what I was responding to right before we came in. Just disaster on the uneven bars. Jamie Danchard fell and then just couldn't get back into the routine. As we were reporting that score, she just started the routine. Whoa. Boy, that's too bad. Too bad for her, too bad for UCLA. They had some pad, and they'll drop that score. Obviously, it's not a problem in terms of the team score.
Right.
But not what they expected.
Still a low of 9.875. Not bad. And a high of 9.95. Antolin, as you said, looked for all the world like she might have gotten a 10. Chrissy Lehman of Oregon State in floor exercise. Very talented.
Very clean, quadruple back. Flexibility, almost of rhythmic proportions. Many of you that have seen rhythmic gymnastics with the apparatus, they're very flexible. She has that kind of flexibility in her back and legs. And show it off one more time.
Chrissy Lehman of Oregon State. Last year at this very meet, she had a 10 in this very same discipline. Here she is last year. She's at UCLA. And this year, kind of a repeat performance. Now, whether or not she scores the same way.
When you got something that works and the audience love it.
It ain't broke.
Exactly.
So Chrissy Lehman will wait for her score. She will not get a 10. One judge giving her 9.9, and that's going to be her score, 9.9. So not quite up to last year, but
a couple little foot faults in there that you can't ignore. Little ones that add up. 9.9's not too shabby, though.
No, it's not. Well, this competition is going to be very close, and you have an idea it might come down to the last rotation. Tanya Riccioli-Hebron.
Unfortunately had a fall on balance beam. She's competed so well all year long, consistently scoring high.
From Windsor, California, part of the wine country. That's pretty good.
Certainly the sign of a veteran pulling off a very good landing on final pass towards the end of a season, long and hard, pulls it out.
So we come to the end of the 6th rotation. One rotation remaining. It could decide the Pac-10 Conference champion. We welcome you back to the McHale Center here in Tucson, Arizona, the Pac-10 Gymnastics Championships. And we come now to our final rotation. And this all could be decided in this final rotation. UCLA 148.725. Stanford 148.5. So .225 separating first and second as we come to the final rotation.
Got 3 teams in the clubhouse. Oregon State's finished, Arizona State's finished, and Washington. Oregon State had a very good meet, hanging in there.
This is Lori Wynn on balance beam. We will try to keep you posted of the scores as we go along here. Please keep in mind, this is unofficial. We can only do the best we can do. Lori Wynn, a little step on the landing.
But a strong start for UCLA on a crucial event for them here on beam with Stanford over on vault. Got the sense from Stanford as I saw them line up and get ready. They are psyched. They're going to compete well over there, attack the landings.
This is Caroline Fleur. She's the second vaulter for Stanford. Shelley Goldberg has already vaulted. We await her score. A 9-9 for Shelley Goldberg.
Off to an amazing start.
Terrific start for the first vaulter. Now Caroline Fleur.
This is a much improved event for Stanford. Ranked 10th in the nation on this event.
Perfect.
Wow. What did I tell you? I just read the body language, the feel of the team as they walked over there. And as I said, when they're this close to UCLA and UCLA is going over the beam, they're going to apply pressure. They're going to attack the landings, come up with the best they've got. Very clean in the air. Not a huge vault in terms of overall dynamics, but no deduction. That's the key. No deduction at all on that landing.
We'll give you the score for Caroline Fleur as soon as we get it. The score for Lori Wynn, 9.55, and almost certainly UCLA will drop that unless they have a fault.
Very nice scale. This is what they need. Jeanette Antolin coming up second here, get them back on track, pump up the scores to build on. Watch her attack the landings.
Caroline Fleur did not get a good break incidentally. 9.925, I don't know. You tell me.
It just overall was not a huge vault in terms of amplitude. Oh, no, no, no. That's an uncharacteristic mistake for Jeanette. A little bit tight. And missed the handstand position, came down quickly. Go to some back handspring.
Finishing here, and remember UCLA has to recover from that 9.55 by Lori Wynn. Stanford needs .225 advantage in this final rotation.
Very difficult dismount coming up. Pike double back. Oh, little hop there. Great dismount, but tiny little deductions that they don't want to give away when Stanford's over there nailing landings.
Jessica Louie, incidentally, just went on vault for Stanford, 9.625. So
a break for UCLA.
Yes. Now Lisa LeBay for Stanford. Big vault coming here. Nailed it.
There is a great landing. Yurchenko, full twist, worth a 10.0. So no deduction on the landing. Again, I've seen the vault done bigger and better in terms of just amplitude. But it was certainly big enough, and hard to deny the landing here. Good distance from the horse. Could have gone up a little bit higher to give it just a spectacular look.
Christine Tedman for UCLA now, waiting on beam. We await the score of Antolin.
A lot of tension right now in the gym. Excitement, but a little tense too. See Jeanette Antolin scored 9.85 there in the background, just being posted. To Coach Valerie Condos-Field, who has done a very good job of giving many of her gymnasts experience early on in the season. She could have competed her big guns all the time, and then they wouldn't have the experience to be able to count on them when they need them, possibly here and at nationals. And most important, they feel an important part of the team. All of the gymnasts feel equal.
Natalie Foley of Stanford just a moment ago. Perfect.
There's the best ball to the meet. I'd like to see the feet together, but with the judges sitting on the side, very hard to even see that from the side. But she was not going to move the feet together, not even slide them together, going to show, look, I am nailing this. I am not moving a centimeter.
And she didn't, and she scored a 10. So Natalie Foley with a 10 on vault, and that should help Stanford.
Yeah, I don't know what you should do when the legs land that far apart, though. I won't open that can of worms. Because she didn't move, that's true. But I'd like to see the legs together.
Lindsay Wing, though, for Stanford, only a 9.55. So they're going to have to take the 9.625 score of Jessica Louis. And that could hurt Stanford.
Here is a rock on the beam. Always has been. When she competed for the United States, you could always count on Kristen coming through on this event. Packs it with difficulty.
Christine Tedman, incidentally, a 9.9. Very good score. And you have an idea that UCLA is about to do it again here.
Kristen Maloney ranked 3rd in the nation on this event. 3 Bruins ranked in the top 10. To just give you an idea of their strength on this event. So where some teams might be kind of shaking in their boots going over to beam the last event, needing to come up with big scores, this is an area where they know they can compete well. But you still have to do it. It comes right down to it, nerves and all.
They have so far.
Got to put it out there. Dismount off to the side.
Oh, yes. Exactly as you said, Kristen Maloney, stone perfect.
She's just so tough inside, just mentally very tough. Of course, she, in her competitive days as an elite gymnast, did a more difficult dismount off the end, but this is the smartest thing to protect her leg and to come up with a stick. She doesn't need a more difficult landing, so it makes perfect sense for her to dismount off the side.
So Kristen Maloney waits for her score. We'll wait with her, and while we'll jump off the track. We're coming back. Last rotation. Welcome back. Now Yvonne Tusek waiting for her turn on beam, and we're still awaiting the score of Kristen Maloney.
Just like on floor exercise, Yvonne has a very unique way about her on this event as well.
9.95 for Maloney. So if Tusek gets anything that resembles a decent score, just off the top of my head, I would think UCLA would have enough.
They're definitely doing it. 9.95 for Kristen Maloney, very big score. To win at nationals, they're going to have to come up with a whole team full of 9.9s and 9.95s and 10s. That's what it's going to take.
Now, will they have Dancher back?
Yes.
Fully for nationals?
That's their plan. Yvonne, always known for her unique style, choice of elements, and dance skills, choreography. Really wanted to make that mark in the sport, and she's done just that, both internationally and at the collegiate level.
The dismount.
For many of these gymnasts, this is their final Pac-10 championships of their career. Lots of seniors in this competition, lots of seniors on the UCLA team, the Stanford team, soaking it in.
Well, I think Yvonne Tucson did enough. Valerie Kondos, you saw a moment ago, the perennial smile.
Calm confidence, I believe, is what she likes of her athletes, and I think she exudes that as well.
Absolutely. So Tucson kind of hit the side of the mat that time. We talked about those big foamy mats.
And with a smile on her face as always.
She's great. She's great.
Yeah, but if she's nervous, you'd never know it.
No.
And I'm sure she is. There's no way that you're not nervous at all. It's just when you're prepared and very capable, the nerves are more just for the adrenaline, to know you're in competition, that this counts, put it out there, that there's such a calmness about her and ease.
Well, you were there, I mean, in this very event.
Yeah, I'm perfectly calm sitting here.
I know you are. You were perfectly
I'm not going to fall off my chair, except when I was doing my math. Okay, I have to say, I blew that big time. Okay. And I, you know,
but I was there.
It was a major deduction.
I was there when you won your medal, and you seemed pretty calm to me, too.
All an act. No.
You pulled it off.
Yes. Put it this way. At times, the balance beam looks 4 feet wide, like a sidewalk. You're just on, and that's the way the day goes. And then sometimes it looks like a tightrope.
I believe that.
And in either instance, you still have to perform and compete.
Oh, fall. Well, that might change the picture a little bit, but I don't think enough. Yvonne Tucson incidentally had a 9.9. I do too.
I think they've banked enough, but we'll see. I'm not doing math again. So.
Well, I'll have to use the 9.55 of Lori Wynn, but Stanford, remember, has to use the 9.625 of Jessica Louie. And I think collectively the other scores 9.9, 9.95, and 9.9.
There's a major change. It's very quiet in here right now, where you've gone from all the events going on at the same time, music in the background, but this is something an athlete, especially one of Kate's magnitude, that can deal with that. Sudden silence.
So the fall from Kate Richardson, but it may not matter.
Well, she's ranked #1 on this event in the nation, so clearly not her usual performance on the beam, and certainly not what she wanted to do for the team, but better here than at nationals.
Absolutely. And her team very likely will still win the competition. So we will come back and figure all the numbers out. They're not going to leave the math to Kathy and I know that, but I think UCLA is going to win another one. We welcome you back to the McHale Center. Well, it's the reason they invented abacuses, I think.
Oh.
Stanford, in fact, on the last rotation, comes up a winner by the narrowest of margins, Kathy.
25 thousandths of a point. That is so close, and we knew it was going to be close. Neither team was at their absolute best. They left openings for each other to move in there, and a good building spot from here forward for both teams going into nationals.
Third conference championship and the second in the last 3 years for the Stanford Cardinals. Still other hills to climb. They have the NCAA regionals coming up the first week in April, and then the NCAA championships on the weekend of the 15th and 16th and 17th of April. So still more hills to climb for both Stanford and for UCLA, but for the moment, it's the Stanford Cardinal who are the conference champions here in Tucson. Well, that is a wrap for us from here at the McHale Center. For Kathy Johnson-Clark, I'm Barry Tompkins. We'll see you next year at the Women's Gymnastics Championships.